Hey listeners, welcome back to this episode of Spectacular Science. I'm your host, Akshay. This is part 2 of our 3-part series about biomes. Last episode, we covered about what makes a biome, what makes each biome unique. In this episode, we're going to take a closer look at land biomes. They're also known as terrestrial biomes. And in this episode, we're going to take a deep dive into the science of these different types of biomes and look into what makes these amazing biomes on Earth unique. In this episode, we're going to be covering the 7 main types of land biomes: temperate deciduous forests, temperate grasslands, savanna, desert, taiga, tundra, and tropical rainforest. Let's start off with the temperate deciduous forest. A temperate deciduous forest, as the name suggests, has a temperate climate. A temperate climate means that it's basically relatively calm climate, so it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. Lots of places on Earth have this type of biome. And what makes deciduous forests very unique is the wide variety of forest wildlife and the different types of trees there are. Deciduous trees lose their leaves in the fall and grow their leaves back in the spring. And these have like very clear 5 seasons. And the temperatures are pretty moderate, but obviously during the seasons they kind of reduce in the winter and then warm back up in the summer. But what makes deciduous forests really unique is the trees. There are hardwood deciduous trees, and some of these trees can be maple trees, oak trees, and all these other types of trees that you would find in these forests. And deciduous forests are actually very common in the United States, especially in the eastern coast of the United States, like in Georgia, in New York. It's all deciduous forests. And if you live in one of these areas, you can go outside and find these types of deciduous forests and trees. And you can also find some types of animals like raccoons, squirrels, and even many, many, many types of birds. That's what temperate deciduous forests are. Now, we have temperate grasslands. As the name suggests, it's a grassland, which means there are lots of grass in that area. It's also a temperate, like temperate deciduous forest, meaning that the temperature is pretty steady in about the 60s and 70s and maybe as low as the 50s and 40s in the winter. These also have some defined seasons, but most of the year it's pretty hot. And there's also a large variety of wildlife here too, like coyotes, prairie dogs, and this makes up a lot of the middle of the United States, like North Dakota, South Dakota, and makes up a lot of the plains. And this place is also very prone to fires because there's not much rainfall in this area. But there is enough rainfall to grow these small grasses and there are not even that many trees in this biome because of the lack of rainfall. But this place is very good for farming because of the fertile soil. And this fertile soil is made possible by all these grasses, and it's really good to grow wheat and other grains in this biome. But what makes this biome unique is all these tall grasses and the fact that it's very prone to wildfires, which also keeps the grasses in check. It's kind of nature's way of preventing too much overgrowth. And all these animals, such as rattlesnakes and prairie dogs and coyotes, all work together to help maintain this ecosystem and the life of these ecosystems in this biome, which is the temperate grassland. Next, we have tropical rainforests. Tropical rainforests make up large parts of Brazil and the Amazon rainforest, which is one of the largest rainforests in the world. These rainforests are filled with lots and lots of trees. It's almost like a jungle, and there is a lot of rain, as the name suggests. It actually has the most rain of all of these land biomes because it's called a tropical rainforest. And since it's called a tropical rainforest, it's actually very hot. Hence the name tropics, because it's really close to the equator. And these forests are very unique because they have the most biodiversity of any biome on Earth. That's right, they have the most different species of animals and plants on Earth. And we have only discovered a few of the species in this biome because there are so many plants, animals, and insects that haven't been discovered in these tropical rainforests. And that's what makes it really, really unique. There are lots of tall trees in this, and the layer of trees on top is known as the canopy. And lots of animals live in the trees because towards the ground they have to adapt to it because towards the ground, there's not a lot of sunlight. So, most of the plants and trees grow very, very tall. And some of the insects and all the small life live on the forest floor, while other animals like sloths, monkeys, and chameleons, they all live up in the trees. It's home to a wide variety of life, and that's why tropical rainforests are one of the most biodiverse ecosystems and biomes in this world. That's what makes the tropical rainforest biome so special. Now we're traveling over to the savannah in Africa and some parts of South America. That's right, we're talking about the savannah biome. The savannah biome is similar to a temperate grassland, except it is a lot more drier and has a little less rainfall. But these savannas have a rainy and a dry season. There's one season or some time of year where it rains a lot, and one time of year where there's kind of like a drought and it doesn't rain that much. And these are very impactful of all the weather patterns that are happening in these areas. And that's what makes the savannah unique. The savannah hosts a wide variety of exotic wildlife such as giraffes, lions, elephants, rhinos, and the list goes on and on and on. There are so many animals in the savannah, and it's very special because it has lots of grasses for these animals to graze on, and other animals such as lions eat these animals that graze on the grass. There's also few trees known as acacia trees, and especially in the African savanna, and they also give food to giraffes and other tall animals that can reach the leaves of these trees. That's what the savanna biome is. Next, we have the desert biome. When I first say the word desert, what do you think? We are probably thinking sand, the sun, very very hot climate, and most importantly, cactus. But let me tell you this: that vision is not too far off from the truth. A desert is one of the hottest biomes on Earth, and it has the least rainfall of all these biomes. It has less than 1 inch of rainfall a year, and that's on average. That is not a lot of rainfall, but it still supports a wide variety of life, such as all these plants and animals that have adapted to survive in this desert climate. A few examples of these plants and animals can be cactus and some types of lizards and snakes. These animals can live effortlessly in these deserts, and it's just awesome to see how they have evolved and adapted to live in this amazing environment. And these deserts are very unique because of this. Next, we have the taiga. It's gonna be good to take a break from the deserts because those were very very cold. The taiga is very unique because of the certain types of trees that are there. They are evergreen trees or conifer trees. And these different types of trees can include pine and spruce trees. And what makes these things very unique is that it doesn't even rain that much. Even though there are lots of snow and ice, it doesn't really rain that much in the taiga, and it's pretty relatively dry. But it's still able to support a lot of plant life, like these forests, and also a lot of animal life, like reindeer and other animals that are adapted to live in this cold environment. Now for the coldest of cold biomes. That's right, we're talking about the tundra. The Arctic tundra and the Antarctic tundra are certain examples of these. And the tundra, as you can guess, is very, very cold, and it doesn't even rain that much. In fact, some people are debating that a tundra is technically a desert because it also has less than 1 inch of rain. But unlike deserts, tundras are extremely cold. And even though it's a very, very harsh climate, certain animals still live here, like foxes, wolves, and even some rabbits and owls, and even polar bears and penguins. All these animals are especially adapted to live in these cold environments and to find food and keep warm in these very, very, very cold environments. Before I go explore some more of these biomes, let's review what we learned in this episode. In this episode, we learned about all the land biomes on Earth, which are deciduous forests, tundra, taiga, savanna, temperate grassland, desert, and tropical rainforests. In this episode, we learned about the different temperatures, rainfall, and the types of animals and plants that live there. We also learned about what makes each of these biomes extremely unique. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Spectacular Science. Spectacular Science is produced and hosted by me, Akshay J. Raman. Our theme song is by Chan Ramachandran. Please visit my podcast website, spectacularsci.com, to find interactive activities, articles, blog posts, and all of our episodes. That's spectacularsci.com. Please also subscribe wherever you're listening right now. It really encourages me to keep making new episodes, and you'll be up to date on all the new episodes that are going to come out in this new season. Subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on part 3 of this Biome series next week, where I'll take a deep dive, literally, into the science of aquatic or water biomes. Bye!